For the past 8 episodes, we have been building a diagnostic framework for understanding why organizational change and transformation fails at the human level. Each episode isolated a single dimension, and we went deep on those dimensions. Episode 1 explored the identity crisis that transformation triggers in individual teams. Episode 2, with Elizabeth Stewart, my buddy, examined how emotional contagion spreads anxiety through an organization during change. Episode 3 unpacked the structural traps that middle management faces when caught between executive mandates and the frontline realities. Episode 4 looked at the algorithmic mirror, how AI and data systems reflect organizational bias back as objective truths. Episode 5 with James Elliott examined the organizational immune system, that invisible force that detects and neutralizes change the same way the body attacks a foreign pathogen. Episode 6 explored structural silence, the system that teaches people that speaking up is more dangerous than staying quiet. Episode 7 examined the psychological contract, the unwritten promise between organizations and their people that transformation and change always violates. In episode 8, the last episode with Ryan Vett, explored the generational fault lines that determine how each of these dimensions plays out differently depending on when someone entered the workforce. 8 dimensions, 8 episodes, each one grounded in peer-reviewed research, each one validated by practitioner experience. And each one, I believe, essential to understanding why many organizational transformation and change efforts continue to fail at rates that have not improved in decades, despite the billions of dollars invested in change management tools, methodologies, and consulting engagements. Here's the problem with building a framework one dimension at a time. The audience, and I include myself in this, can begin to see each dimension as a standalone diagnosis. You hear about the identity crisis and you think, that is our problem. I know how to fix that. You hear about emotional contagion and, well, you think, that is what's happening in our leadership team. And I know how to fix that. You hear about structural silence and you recognize it immediately in your organization's culture. And you may know how to fix that. But the reality is, none of these dimensions operate in isolation. They interact, they amplify each other. They create cascading effects that no single dimension intervention can address. The resulting consideration then can be overwhelming, if not downright scary. So today, we're going to map the interactions and focus this episode on showing where the individual pieces become a system, one that you can leverage to improve change and transformation success.